a world captivated by fame and celebrity culture, we often find ourselves placing our idols on pedestals, elevating them to a status that seems untouchable. But what are the consequences of this practice for both the celebrities themselves and us as individuals? Hi! My name is Jaden and I make videos on culture, media, and whatever's going on in the world that I feel like yapping about. And today I want to talk about celebrities on pedestals because fandoms can be very hardcore and serious, and they really seem to idolize celebrities to an unhealthy degree. So I kind of wanted to unpack that a bit and talk about how this impacts the celebrity as well as you, the individual, who's associated in an unhealthy obsession with said celebrity. The nature of idolization. What does that mean? What am I talking about? As humans in general, we will always kind of lean towards idolizing people in some sort of a way, whether it's someone who's real, someone who's fictional, someone we personally know. We do form these attachments, and that's normal, but it can get kind of unhealthy when you start to think of this person as someone who's perfect in every aspect. They could never do anything wrong. They are a god. You kind of look past any flaws that they may or may not have, and you just see them in a perfect light. Think of it as when you have a crush on someone and you don't see anything wrong with them. You think they are perfect in every way. Also, ignore my blue hand. I did my sister's hair a few days ago and the blue has not come off, so at least I know it's gonna stay in her hair. Anyways, we naturally just kind of want to look up to people that entertain us or make us feel appreciated, loved, and we want to show that person that we appreciate what they've done for us. But it's a problem when you just kind of start to neglect any flaws they might have. My crush analogy I was just saying before I got sidetracked. You see them with rose-colored glasses on, right? You don't see anything wrong with them. You think they are perfect and that there's nothing wrong with them at all, but sometimes that's not the case. Everyone has flaws and everyone can improve in certain ways, but it's when you completely ignore that and just think the person is perfect to the T. When we put celebrities or anyone in general on a pedestal, it does impact that person quite a bit. We've seen this. Again, I always mention Chaperone because she's the current example of what's going on, It really impacts people's mental health, and I will forever and always be a spokesperson for mental health. As someone who has a couple of mental illnesses myself, I will speak up about this because it is a problem, and people will acknowledge it, but they don't really understand all the way on how mental health works, and it really can affect someone. And if you're telling someone that they're constantly perfect in every single way, that can impact them. If you're obsessing over them, that will impact them. They might see certain flaws, and sure, it's nice to compliment someone, but even something even if body image wise, if you're telling a celebrity that they look perfect the way they are, but maybe you're not aware, maybe they're struggling with their self-image, maybe there's a medical issue going on and they're not ready to talk about it, and you're feeding into that little voice in their head that's oh yeah, see, you're fine the way you are, you're not sick, and it's that can be really harmful. Or even just they feel the need to portray a perfect image, and then that's going to cause them more anxiety about how they're being perceived, because we're always perceiving celebrities, and for them, they are always going to be aware of what they look like, what people are going to say, whether they whatever they're hearing or reading, I guess, is positive or negative. It's going to impact them in some sort of way. I have a couple little clips here of celebrities kind of opening up about how they're idolized and kind of how it affects them. So I'm just gonna play those, and I think they'll kind of just speak for themselves.
Care that it's normal. I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. I don't give a if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo.
So a lot of fucking people on here who are not my fans, and they come in here and they come watch my shit because they have nothing better to fucking do. but talk shit on the internet. Thank you.
This is my home, you know what I mean? This is where I live, and I don't appreciate you guys being here. You guys can be anywhere else, this is my home, you know? This is where you know, at the end of the night when you come home, and you want to relax, this is my space to do that. So I'd appreciate it if you guys would let me do that.
Can I get a call?
Yes.
Yeah, you can kind of see from those clips that like celebrities are very affected by this, and even influencers are affected by these kind of like idolizations of them, because they do feel so much pressure now to be a specific way, and then they'll be scared to speak up about things that they want to speak up on because they don't want to be perceived differently. When you're being like so loved as well, it can really boost someone's ego. And then like they can get some narcissistic tendencies. They might not necessarily be a narcissistic person, but their mindset can kind of shift in a way that'll make them think like maybe they are all that, maybe they are perfect in every way, and then that kind of will like give them a bit of an ego, and then they'll come across that way. But it can even just be them masking for something else, like maybe they're pretending to be like this, and then deep down they're like, man, like I wish I didn't say or do this, but like no one's gonna like me unless I act this way. How is this impacting the fans then? Because like we kind of talked a bit about like how it's impacting the celebrities and like how it can damage like their like perception of themselves, their personality, their mental health, whatever. But like what about the fans themselves? Well, they create this like false sense of connection. Like I'm sure you've heard a lot of talk about like parasocial relationships, and that is important because some people can form very strong attachments even if they've never met you. They can really connect with someone, and like sure, it's nice to like have a parasocial relationship and just kind of like know like, well, I like this celebrity, they're pretty chill, like maybe they acknowledged you, that's pretty cool, it's a win in my book. But it's when you kind of get really obsessed with them and it starts to fully consume you. So people might like project specific goals and aspirations onto the celebrity, or they might create like an image of that celebrity in their head, and then if that person doesn't do like what they think that that person would do, they can kind of be like, well, what the heck? And then everything they know feels like a lie, and then they're just kind of like, what is happening? Or like they feel so deeply connected to that celebrity to the point it's like that is their only source of happiness, you know? Like if that celebrity's life is going well, then that person's life is going well. And even like if a celebrity passes, it can really impact people to like the point of like how losing a close friend can hit you, because they've formed such an unhealthy like attachment to this person that they've never met, and that's pretty damaging. And like people also use celebrities as like who they want to be. Like they'll lose their own sense of identity and start to kind of mimic the celebrity. They will start dressing like them, talking like them. Like you see a lot of celebrity lookalikes that are marketing off the fact that they are celebrity lookalikes, and for some of these people it could possibly like mess with them a little bit, because then they might be like, oh, I am this person, so I can do this, and then you know, obviously they're not that person, and then if someone calls them out on that, obviously they're going to be upset, because in their mind they've built up this like persona of like they're this celebrity, they have to be this celebrity, because they don't know who they are without that celebrity, you know? And then there's the cycle of disappointment. Maybe a celebrity isn't doing so well and they put out something that people aren't very fond of. Not only is the celebrity going to be disappointed that like obviously something they put like their heart and soul into is just like getting horrible feedback, but then the fans as well that like super looked up to a celebrity are going to be like, well, this isn't the person I wanted to look up to. And then like I've seen this in so many fandoms, they will switch sides immediately and hate that celebrity to like the highest degree of hatred, which is actually wild. Like fandoms are scary. They become so obsessed with something, but then if that then doesn't go the way they want it to, they will switch up and despise that person or that form of media, whatever it is. They will just full on 180 it, and they hate it, and then they're gonna start talking badly about this person. It's like they might be like a hate commenter, or they'll like try to like find the celebrity in public and harass them. Like people can take things way too far, and if you feel like it's like you've been so attached to like a celebrity, and then you feel like they've betrayed you in some kind of way. And if you were like so unhealthily obsessed with them and saw them as this perfect person, and then that image gets shattered, then your sense of self gets shattered. Everything you believed and loved in gets shattered, and then you're gonna lash out at the celebrity, even though they did nothing wrong except maybe produce some media that you weren't the biggest fan of. I don't think we should idolize anyone, to be honest. Like, it's just not healthy for anyone in that kind of section, you know? Like, it's not healthy for you, it's not healthy for the person you're idolizing. It can get messy, it can be painful, and like, there's nothing wrong with appreciating what a celebrity is doing. Maybe they're a really good person, and you're like, okay, well, they're a genuinely cool person, I'll support them. Or like maybe you just like their music. You don't even have to like someone as like a person, you know? You could just like maybe they're a good actor, or maybe they produce good music. You don't have to like feel like you know them as a person, you know? Like, they're just creators. They're making something for you to enjoy. You don't really have to like the person or even know the person to appreciate the media that they're like producing. Instead of idolizing people and putting them on this pedestal and kind of like hurting both parties, it's just important to like what you like, but in moderation. Like, I know some people can't control if they do have obsessive tendencies and maybe they'll be hyperfixated on something, but it's still important to keep that distance and know that like this is a person. They literally are just like you, okay? Like, they're human, they have thoughts, they have feelings, they have emotions. They can get uncomfortable. Like, if you're like worshiping their every move, that can be really uncomfortable. Like, you kind of need to take a step back and kind of think to yourself, like, if someone said or did these things to me, how would I feel? Like, how would you feel if people were standing outside your apartment and trying to take pictures of you from the window? You would be creeped out. How would you feel if you were just trying to go to the grocery store and buy some food and you're in like your sweats and paparazzi are following you around and taking photos with you and screaming at you? Obviously, you wouldn't be in the mood for that. Or even if like celebrities can be having rough days and like someone will ask them for a picture and like maybe they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling it today, like I'm really sorry about that. And the person can get really upset about that. Like, I see a lot of people complaining like when celebrities say no to getting photos with them, but it's like, they're just people. They'll have good days, they'll have bad days. Maybe some days they will want to take photos and like chat it up with fans, and then other days they just don't want to associate with anyone. They just want to relax and chill. Like, if you've worked a really long shift, like think about this, okay? You just worked like a 10-hour shift, right? You're on your way home, you go to the grocery store, you're picking up some things, and then like if like someone ran into you and was asking for photos and for hugs, would you really be in the mood for that? Especially if it was a stranger. Like even when I'm in public, if I see someone I know, I hide because like I don't have the energy to deal with people after like a long day. So why would you think a celebrity would have the mental capacity to handle that, especially if like they're going through some stuff and like you never know what someone's going through. So it's really important to just like look at it from a different perspective and kind of understand like, okay, they're people, I'm people, how would I feel in this interaction? And like, it's okay to go up and just be like, hi, are you like this person? And if they're comfortable, could you take a photo? And if they say no, it's not the end of the world. You still got to meet them. It's fine. Like, you never know what they're going through. You don't know what they want to do, what they don't want to do, what they're comfortable with, what they're not comfortable with. Like, it's just important to be respectful, asking for consent, and just being a good person and not worshiping them. And you can call them out if they are doing something horrible. But if they're not doing anything wrong and you just decide to hate them, that's not okay. And it's never okay just to hate for the sake of hating, you know? So, anyways, that's just kind of my opinion on the idolization of celebrities and how people really worship them and how damaging it is to both parties and how it impacts everyone's mental health. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. What do you think about idolization of celebrities or people in general? And also, have you ever idolized a celebrity? Like, how did that affect you? And I would be happy to hear about your experience in the comments below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!